Okay, in algebra we sometimes see things grouped in brackets with a number or pronumeral in front of them or both. So the distributive law helps us to expand and remove those brackets. So a term on the outside of the brackets means it's being multiplied, because remember, if we had two things next to each other, that is the same as 2 times a. Well, we can do that with brackets as well. And it's multiplied by each term inside those brackets. So in this case, a times b plus c is going to be a times b plus a times c. And the same thing goes if we had a times b minus c. We multiply a times b, we keep the operation of minus, and then we do a times c. So a lot of the times we miss that second step of doing a, the term on the outside of the brackets, multiplied by the second term as well. And in this one, a little bigger, negative a times b, that's the dog, negative a times b is going to be added to, but watch, negative a times c. So we're going to end up sort of adding negative ac, and we know that we can write that as subtracting positive ac. In this case, we've got negative a times b, okay? Now how do we get a plus there? Because negative a times negative c gives us positive ac. So our negative becomes a positive. When we're multiplying negative by negative, we get a positive. If the number in front of the brackets is negative, the sign in each of the terms of inside the brackets will change when expanded. So negative 2 times positive x gives us that negative. And here we go again, negative 2 times negative 3. I suppose let's look at it another way. Negative 2 times, times 3 gives us negative 6. But we're subtracting negative 6. That's my dog. That's why two negatives, in this case, subtracting a negative makes a positive. We are going to have words. All right. Okay, so let's try expanding the following. So 3 times x plus 4 is going to be 3 times x plus, not 4, but 3 times 4, which gives us 12. Over here we have 5 times x minus whatever 5 times 11 is, which we know to be 55. I can go no further than that because I can't combine those like terms anymore. Now I've got negative 2, so this is going to be 2 times x, but negative. I'm not going to write the minus right away because I know that I'm going to take away negative 2 times 5, which will be negative 10. So that means I'm going to add that 10 back on. Amazing. Yeah. So here we go. Now we throw some pronumerals in. That's okay. We're having a good time. Some extra ones, 4 times x is 4x, plus 4 times 3y, which is the same as saying 4 times 3 times y. So we can just do 4 times 3 is 12 times y right next to it, and we're done, burger. Okay, so for this one, we want to be careful of our negatives. So we'll do a negative 2x times 4x. And to that, I'm going to treat this negative 3 as if it is negative 3, like it's minus 3, but I'm going to add, I've got to put brackets around this negative 2x just to clarify that minus, we've got a plus and a minus, and we don't want them to try and mix or go to dinner together, and then times negative 3. So we can do each of these separately. Negative 2 times positive 4, that gives us negative 8, and x times x, that gives us x squared. So it's not 2x's, it's x times x. And to that we add negative 3 times, this is essentially thinking about negative 2 times negative 3 times x, right? That's what that means. So negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6 times x, and that's how we get that one. 2 minus that chunk of negative 3x minus 4. So we've got 2 minus 3x, because 3 times x, and then we have 3 times negative 4, so that's going to give us plus 12. See how we got there? Because we went 3 times x and kept our negative, and then we did negative 3 times negative 4 gives us positive 12, and we can actually clean that up a little bit because we've got 2 and 12. So if I reorder that, 2 plus 12 minus 3x, I just put them in a different order, that gives us 14 minus 3x, and that's as far as we can go with that one. This one, okay, there's a wee trick to this one, so let's proceed with caution. Let's work out the first expanding brackets. 3 times x is x, plus 3 times 2y, which is 3 times 2 times y. 3 times 2 is 6, which gives us y. And then for this one, I want us to think, because we have to be careful, because it's very easy for you to get this bit wrong. We've got a minus sign here, and so let's think, I've got nothing there, but I've got minus, let's make it minus 1, because it's 1 of whatever the brackets 3x plus y is. So if I were to do minus 1 times 3x, that would give me just 1 of 3x I'm taking away. And then minus 1 times y means we're not adding y anymore. We're actually taking a y away from this equation. So that's a little bit of a trickster there going on, a little bit of a tricky. And then we collect our like terms. And I don't know if you need to do this, but I do. I need to take my negative 3 and move it over here, and my positive 6y and my negative y. Now 3x's minus 3x's, let's take my dog for example. If I had 3 pippies and took away 3 of those pippies, I would have no pippies. I might sleep through the night. Now I've got 6 y's minus 1 of the y's. That means all I've got left out of that whole operation is 5 y's. Amazing!